Good morning, Cindy here, and today we're going to talk about knockout roses. If you look here, I have this beautiful rose. Let me get a little closer. There's not a bloom on it, and there are no new buds getting ready to put out new blooms. What that tells me is we need to fertilize. And so I left this rose unfertilized just specifically for this video to show you the importance. Had I fertilized this monthly, this would still be covered with beautiful roses at this time. So my favorite fertilizer is Espoma Organic Rose Tone, and you put a cup and a fourth around the base of each rose, and you kind of scratch that in with your garden fork here. And I would have had roses that never stopped, but now I'm going to have to wait until some new buds put out. These roses should be blooming from early spring all the way through September, October, November. But I did not fertilize it, so now we are going to do that, and I will have beautiful blooms again. The same is true for my drift roses. Let's go over there and look at those. So I have a beautiful bunch of pink drift roses here, and they're just all spent. There's no new buds. Well, there might be one or two new buds. So a nice cup or two of fertilizer in this area will make a huge difference. So I'm down here at the base of my rose, and I wanted you to see I use drip irrigation. This is newly placed tubing, and shortly I'm going to be putting it down like 2 inches in the ground and covering it with mulch. But this is what it looks like right now, and you really do not want to let your leaves of your roses be sprayed with water. That causes black spot and other diseases. Although knockout roses are really great about being resistant to diseases, every once in a while I do see black spot on them, and I clip that out right away. Okay, so here we have our cup, and I'm going to say it's a cup and a quarter because it's mounded up, and I'm going to sprinkle this all around, and then I'll do the other one. And then you take your garden fork and you scratch it in. You scratch it in also because my dogs love this stuff. Here comes one right now. And they just think that I put this here for them. But if you scratch it in well, then the dogs can't really, they kind of lose interest. And then I'll water it well, and in about 2 weeks I will start getting some new blooms. So I usually just grow knockout roses because they are so easy to grow. But I have recently learned about several other roses that give you the true beautiful rose with the multiple fabulous petals. And this one is Belinda's Dream. And the garden nurseries have told me that this one is easy and to give it a try. And it has been fantastic. It's covered with blooms. I have fertilized this monthly, but there is something that was a little disconcerting. I came out here one day, and I'm putting up here on the screen what was inside these beautiful roses. Look at this. This is Kern's scarab beetles, and I was just shocked when I saw that. It's like, what in the world? And I looked it up, found out what they are, and they are eating the pollen and nectar inside roses. And they also go after other flowers. I haven't really seen them anywhere except for on my roses. So they don't harm humans, but it is something you do want to get on top of. You can spray them with insecticides, but you also cause bees and butterflies to be harmed by that. So the best thing they say to do is just have a bucket of soapy water and just knock them into the bucket every time you see them. And that's what I've been doing, and that seems to be plenty of control. Okay, so let's move on. So I'm way back here. I want you to see what I have going on here. So close to the house, I have boxwoods, and my thinking is the boxwoods will get up about this high, and I'll keep them pruned to about that level. And I wanted something really pretty on the next level down, and that's when drift roses came to mind. And they are very popular right now. They're in all the nurseries, and they're a rose that stays low to the ground. And they're related to the knockout rose. You don't get a beautiful thick rose like on Belinda's Dream, but you do get just these little formations of roses that kind of look like wild roses, but you get a bunch of them. And these are kind of spent. Definitely, I just fertilized them, and they will be covered again. But you see these at a lot of the parking facilities. They are around Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has these everywhere, and they're in the orange, and they're just gorgeous. So these are the drift roses at Chick-fil-A, and you can see they're this really pretty orange color, and see how they are in these little clusters, and they stay low, and these need a hit of fertilizer too, you can see, but they don't get much taller than 2.5, 3 feet tall, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. I'll get back so you can see how they planted them. There looks like there's about 7 of them on this little corner here, and normally they're just covered with these beautiful orange roses. So I will keep on top of my fertilizing once a month, because I never want this to be looking like this without hardly any blooms. But this stays low. I can come in and kind of lower some of these that have gotten a little out of control. But this has been a really gorgeous combination, the drift roses with the boxwood or whatever foundation plant you have. And then the third level is like May night or some kind of low growing. I have Berkeley sedge, so whatever you've got, but this is a really nice combination. So if you want to grow some roses, you really need to make sure they are getting 6 to 8 hours of sun a day, and this area back here is perfect. They actually get even more than that, and they are just fine. You do want to water them. They are fairly drought tolerant. You stick your finger down, and when they are dry, about 2 inches down, then you know it's time to water. They do want fertilizer once a month. Now the knockout roses are much easier. They can take our limestone soil. They don't need much amending at all. And I do trim them every Valentine's Day, February 14th or somewhere around there, and I take them down by 1/3. They will lose most of their leaves over the winter time, but they are the first to come back. So I almost think of them as evergreens. And they're just really easy. They're a lot easier than the tea roses or the Floribunda roses, although this Belinda's Dream is really starting to become a favorite. And Belinda's Dream actually has a fragrance. It smells fabulous, where knockout roses don't really have an odor. And that may be why I've never really seen any of those beetles on the knockout roses, only on the Belinda's Dream. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching today. I hope I've excited you about getting some roses. I will put up another video soon when the roses are blooming again. Okay, well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I hope you get a chance to get in your garden today. Bye-bye.